Dr. Jack Byron, Gordon Mitchell, Sam Rogers, Gail Stearns, Cole Burris, and Dr. Ben Douglas, along with a team of researchers funded by the New York pharmaceutical firm Waxell Hall, traveled to Borneo's jungle to look for Pyridnia immortalis, also known as the blood orchid, which they believe can be used as a type of foundation of youth. Despite the reservations of their leader, Captain Bill Johnson, and his partner, Tran Wu, Jack persuades them to pursue a risky route. The team has to cross a river and wade over a waterfall. Ben is swallowed whole by a large anaconda that emerges from the water, but the rest of the squad manages to flee from the river. Bill calms their fears by assuring them that it was just a lure. Bill assures them that it was just the biggest snake he's ever seen and that it'll take weeks for it to eat again. This mission, however, is being called off by the majority of the squad. They go to Bill's riverside buddy, John Livingston, to ask if Bill can borrow his boat, but they borrow Livingston's is dead, and his boat is ruined. Bill tells Sam Rogers about Jack bribing him into taking the dangerous way to the boat. Bill discovers a leech infestation on Carl Burns' back and burns them all with his lighter, while Tran Wu discovers a dangerous spider on Gordon Mitchell's shoe. Everyone begins their way to the boat after Jack chooses to bring the spider along for further investigation. Livingston, on the other hand, is brutally slaughtered by another anaconda, and his boat crashes into the riverbank. The gang witnesses an explosion and discover the boat ruined, and they are sad that they have lost their chance to flee the forest with only a few basics for their mission. They come across Livingston's chewed up body as they continue their quest. It must be mating season, Bill understands, for all male anacondas emerge from the areas in search for the nearest female in their mating pit. The party arrives in a small native town of thatched huts, where a disemboweled anaconda with a pair of human legs dangling from its intestines is on exhibit. The researchers believe the snake's size is usually enormous because their lives have been extended by the orchids, which are part of the local food chain. Jack advises them to keep going because they must be close to the orchids. However, others argue that there is no evidence that the orchids will have the same effect on humans, but they still want to go, so they begin constructing an escape raft. Meanwhile, Gordon, Morris Chestnut, discovers that Jack had stolen Livingston's private case, which contained a radio and a revolver, and understands that he could have phoned for aid a long time ago. When Jack is unable to persuade him to continue the quest, he uses the spiders to paralyze him. Samantha discovers an immobilized Gordon and notices the spider bite on his arm as Jack joins the others on the raft. An anaconda descends from the rafters and consumes Gordon alive shortly after Samantha leaves the building, while interrogating Jack about what he had done to Gordon. When the others arrive, Bill decides to set the building on fire. The commotion is used by Jack to grab the raft. They plan to bushwhack through the forest to beat Jack to the orchids and reclaim their raft because they don't have enough material to create another raft. They stumble into a cave while attempting to flee an anaconda. Cole becomes disoriented and panics after discovering skeletons. He collides with Tran. They make their way back to others as a group. Tran falls through a hole in the cave floor along the way. He is eaten alive by an anaconda underwater because he is unable to flee. Cole manages to find his way back up to the group and exited the tunnels behind them seconds before the snake. The snake pursues them and attacks them as they pass through the hole. Samantha grabs a blade to decapitate the snake, but Cole is kidnapped and got snatched away by the anaconda. The crew pursues him and discovers him restrained but alive. Bill thrusts his knife into the snake's head, swiftly killing it and freeing Cole. The raft is discovered at the same time as Jake discovers the blood orchids, which are perched over a pit where a ball of male anacondas is mating with the female. Jack shoots Bill in the arm, wounding him, and orders the group to accompany him to the orchids. Samantha is instructed to traverse the pit on a narrow wood in order to fill a rucksack with orchids. The log begins to crack as she makes her way back. Samantha threatens to throw the flowers into the hole if Jack does not drop the bag. Samantha threatens to throw the flowers into the hole unless he drops the gun, when Jack instructs her to throw him the backpack. She falls halfway down the pit after the logs crack. While the others assist her in climbing out, Jack tries to get her backpack. Gordon is bitten by the spider he used to paralyze him, which has escaped its jar. As a kind of retaliation for his deception and betrayal, Jack falls into the pit and is consumed alive, while Samantha and the others manage to flee. Gale Stern baits the female anaconda into biting their fuel bottle. Bill attempts to shoot the container with his gun, but it is empty. Cole fires a flare at it, setting off a chain reaction that kills the snakes as well as all of the blood orchids. Bill, Samantha, Cole, Gale, and Bill's pet, Monkey Kong, are among the 5 survivors that make it to the raft and escape. Bill recommends another route as they launch their raft, but the others refuse.